Hills shaken tonight after a man was attacked and run over in broad daylight. The victim died from his injuries. The suspect now behind bars facing a murder charge. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon joins us live after speaking with the people who live and work in the area. Rachel.
Susan, it was this very area where police say they initially responded to a call of an assault with a deadly weapon. But we spoke to many people right here in this neighborhood. They say they could not believe a man died after first being beaten and then brutally run over.
Just to hear something like that happening, like so close by, it's just like really shocking to hear.
24 hours after a man was attacked and then run over in Beverly Hills in broad daylight, the shock still lingers for those who work in the area.
A lot of my friends live so close by, just knowing that something like that could happen here, I know, like, would shake them up for sure.
Police say the suspect and the victim were involved in a verbal altercation. During the altercation, the suspect struck the victim multiple times with a metal object, then got into his vehicle. And from this video, you can see the suspect driving into the victim and running him over.
And he speeds away. I'm just glad they caught him.
The suspect fled to a nearby building, but this cell phone video shows he didn't get far. The man was detained and taken away by police in handcuffs. Beverly Hills.
Of course it was. God damn, man. Why it had to be a Negro, man? Damn. That's an old head, too. It's California. You never know what'll happen, but that was a crash out. He's going to die in prison. Maybe. Depending on, there's a good chance. Jeez.
Police in handcuffs. Beverly Hills police have identified the suspect as 54-year-old Christopher Cornelius. They say he has an extensive criminal record and was booked for murder with bail set at $2 million.
Just living in LA, I think you kind of already have your head on a swivel about things, but I think, again, like...
Why? Why would you have your head on a swivel just living in LA? Salute the Gaucho Below, man. Everybody in the building, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's crazy. Well, Beverly Hills, man. Beverly Hills ain't Beverly Hills no more, man. Salute to everybody who's out there, man. Everybody watching the show, man. The show is actually live, man. We are live. This is a live stream. We are live and direct. Salute to everybody out there, man. As always, man, we're looking for 10 people to take the challenge, man. 10 people take the challenge, man. Sponsor tonight's program. We bringing you this Don Lemon shit, man. And all things related too. You know what I'm saying? All things related. Okay, all things related, man. We bring you this Don Lemon shit and all things created, man. All things related, man. Shout out to Gaucho Low says, great Governor Newsom does it to Beverly Hills. Yeah, Beverly Hills, man, they got a race problem, or or you can switch that around. You can switch it around, man. But, they got a race problem with Beverly Hills, man.
The city of Beverly Hills shaken tonight after a man was attacked and run over in broad daylight. The victim died from his injuries. The suspect now behind bars facing a murder charge. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon joins us live after speaking with the people who live and work in the area. Rachel.
Susan, it was this very area where police say they initially responded to a call of an assault with a deadly weapon. But we spoke to many people right here in this neighborhood. They say they could not believe a man died after first being beaten and then brutally run over.
Just to hear something like that happening, like so close by, it's just like really, really shocking to hear.
24 hours after a man was attacked and then run over in Beverly Hills in broad daylight, the shock still lingers for those who work in the area.
You gotta listen to the way these people talk, the way these liberals talk. It's shocking to hear something like that happen so close by. What does he mean by that? So close by, meaning I paid a lot of money to not have to live around niggas. Press 1. I paid a lot of money to not have to live around niggas. That's what he's saying right here. And it still happened.
Run over.
Just to hear something like that happening, like so close by, it's just like really, really shocking to hear.
24 hours after a man was attacked and then run over in Beverly Hills in broad daylight, the shock still lingers for those who work in the area.
A lot of my friends live so close by, just knowing that something like that could happen here, I know, like, would shake them up for sure.
Police say the suspect and the victim were involved in a verbal altercation. During the altercation, the suspect struck the victim multiple times with a metal object, then got into his vehicle. And from this video, you can see the suspect driving into the victim and running him over.
And he speeds away. I'm just glad they caught him.
The suspect fled to a nearby building, but this cell phone video shows he didn't get far.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not from Beverly Hills, man. I'm going to go on a limb and say he's not from Beverly Hills. What he was doing around there, I don't know. But
the man was detained and taken away by police in handcuffs. Beverly Hills police have identified the suspect as 54-year-old Christopher Cornelius. They say he has an extensive criminal record and was booked for murder with bail set at $2 million.
Just living in LA, I think you kind of already have your head on a swivel about things, but I think, again, like we talked about, like living in Beverly Hills, being in, like working here in Beverly Hills, is like the last place you'd think you'd have to keep your head on swivels.
In fact, according to the Beverly Hills Police online crime statistics, there were no criminal homicides in 2023 or 2024, and no murder.
Damn, no criminal homicides in 2023 and 2024. Think about that. Nobody got mad at a bar and punched somebody and they died from their injuries. Nobody like pushed somebody off a balcony or something. Nothing for 2 years. Jeez. I wonder what the demographics are. What's the racial demographics, man? Shout out to Azure Scribe, man, watching on Rumble, man.
And no murders for the months listed on the department's website for the year 2025.
Shouldn't happen in Beverly Hills or anywhere else in the world. That's totally tragic.
Police confirming to Fox 11 the victim was taken to the hospital.
Oh, shit. They got ICE in Beverly Hills, yo. I can see some white liberals seeing this and be like, oh, shit, they go ICE, and start blowing their whistles and shit and running up and acting all crazy. ICE, man. Beverly Hills ICE. How do you sleep at night? We gonna get into all that tonight, man. We gonna get into all of that, man. All of that, man. You came to the right place, man. Everybody hit the like button. You came to the right place. Hit the like button. Tap that joint for me. Share this on social media. You came to the right place. We getting into all this BS, man.
The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died. Now, as of right now, it is still unclear what relationship, if any, between the suspect and that victim. We also reached out again to the coroner's office tonight to get any more information, of course, on the victim and the ID. But so far, that victim has not yet been released and identified. Pretty live tonight. I'm Rachel Aragon. Susan, I'll send it back to you.
Well, Rachel, are police saying anything about the victim's age or anything else that might be a descriptor?
No, right now they're just saying a male, of course, adult, but as of that, it's been tight-lipped. But again, it's just shocking for many people here because this area, the Beverly Hills, the city, has not seen a murder in several years.
Absolutely.
Tonight, a family is left shattered after losing their son to a distracted driver.
Now, outrage is growing as the woman responsible is set to be released after serving only a fraction of her sentence. Fox 11's Gina Silva is live in Corona with a story you'll see only on Fox 11. Well, the family.
Well, yeah, that's sad too. Let's get over here, man.
Really? Are you kidding me? Look at him!
He's illegal. So let me get. So he's supposed to get to stay because he's not dressed. I want y'all to think about the logic, man. Because I'm not playing tonight, man. I'm not playing tonight. I'm not messing around tonight, man. We're gonna get into all of it. Liberal logic, which we know they don't really believe what they say, half the shit they say. They're really just pearl clutching and all that shit, right? But let's just pretend like that this isn't just outrage and just trying to, other people and trying to make other people look like terrible people, right? Think about this. What if he was a drug dealer? He was being arrested. What if he was a pedophile and he's being arrested? Do you not take him into custody because he's not fully dressed? Because I see a lot of pearl clutching, and I'm going to show you guys a lot of the pearl clutching going on online. But because he's not dressed, you don't take him into custody. Because he's old, you don't take him into custody. I mean, I don't understand. I'm not getting it. Yeah, we sending him back to a climate. We're going to send him back to the equator, man. Ecuador, man. Yeah, go back to Ecuador, man. Go back to a warmer climate, man. You guys out of place up here with all this snow, man. We're going to do you a favor. But yeah, I don't understand. This is bullshit. A lot of the things liberals are saying, people aren't listening to because liberals are good at, just riling people up. But think about it. ICE is the police for illegal aliens, right? DEA is the police for drug enforcement agency. ATF is for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, right? The gang unit, that's for the gangs, right? If they show up and make an arrest and the guy don't have his clothes on, do they just be like, all right, you know what? He don't have his clothes on, let him go. We'll come back another day and hopefully he'll be dressed when we show up. That's what literally these fucking white liberals are screaming about. Salute to Anthony Madison, man. Anthony Madison is in the building, man. Anthony Madison down under. He says, afternoon from Cairns, far north Queensland. All right. North Queensland in the building. North Queensland. What you know about North Queensland? Eric Boatwright. What's up? I watch a lot of your content, and one thing you are great at is guessing people's height. I don't know how you do, but you are always on the money. Yeah, man. You know what? I'll give you a little secret about guessing people's height, right? Like, people tall usually have long arms, right? Long arms, and then you also can look at other things in the picture, right? Like, for instance, like, look at this windowsill, right? You can guess where a first floor windowsill would be at, right? Stuff like that, you know what I mean? But if there's nothing like that, no benchmark, no cars around, you can look at people's arms. You can look at their feet. Tall people use their big feet. You know what I mean? Long arms, shit like that, And then if none of that is available, you can just the energy, But yeah, salute to you, man. Appreciate that.
Really? Are you kidding me? Look at him! Look at him!
He's illegal. What does it have to do? What do you mean, look at him? What does that mean? Look at him. So they were supposed to come over here and spend all this money and resources. All these guys is on the fucking clock. All these guys is on the clock. And this unit right here, this tactical unit, they got a certain amount. We want you to hit these 5 homes. Y'all hit these 5. This is part of their mission for the day. They show up. He not dressed. All right, we're just gonna go back to the office and tell the captain that we went through there. He wasn't dressed, so we just left. We let him go. What the fuck are they talking about? White liberals think like girls. You know what I'm saying? They think like girls. That's something a girl would say.
New video shows a grandfather walked out of his home wearing just a blanket, shorts, and slippers during our bitter cold blast. His family says he's a U.S. citizen.
Also new today, federal prosecutors are vowing to press charges against these protesters.
You see how they showed this before? This is the lead story. But they led with this to try to propagandize the story. See, this is the lead story. This is the story everybody's talking about. The church. They threw this in there. So they can be like, see, look how terrible ICE is.
Really? Are you kidding me? Look at him! Look at him!
New video shows a grandfather walked out of his home wearing just a blanket, shorts, and slippers during our bitter cold blast. His family says he's a U.S. citizen.
Also new today, federal prosecutors are vowing to press charges.
Oh, the right is awful about getting this story. They're the worst they're the worst in the history of the world at getting this story out. Yeah, they're hopeless. You know what I mean? They're hopeless. They talking about alien spaceships and shit and conspiracies all day. The right spend like 90% of their time talking about conspiracies or trying to tie everything back to Israel. Democrats are focused, man. Democrats and liberals, they focused on this shit. All the attention. They don't give a fuck about, Netanyahu and all this bullshit. Motherfucking, because they want control of this country. They don't give a fuck about everything else. They want control of this country. The top conservative voices are worried about all these bizarre, cockamamie, fucking nothing. Everything's some kind of grand. It's just.
Against these protesters who burst into a Sunday service. One of the church's pastors is a local ICE leader. Thanks for joining us. The head of Homeland Security now says they've made 3,000 arrests in the past 6 weeks.
Where are they taking those arrested? We're going to dig into that in a moment. But first,
where are they taking those arrested? To the place that they take them to before they send them back home. Why you want to know? So y'all can go down there and protest? Y'all want to know where they taking them so y'all can find out there, go down there and raise trouble and assault people down there and threaten people down there and not have anything happen to you? Y'all want to be able to go fucking raise hell down there and then have no consequences?
Latest on this dangerously cold Arctic air. We've reached a whopping 2 degrees. But if you've been outside,
it's going to be 9 degrees in Pennsylvania tomorrow. So, yeah.
You know it feels much colder. And Mike, I mentally prepared myself because you told us about this last week. Not physically prepared, though.
No, I mean, it gets colder from here for sure. And in fact, dangerously cold air on the way with more Arctic air, believe it or not, even colder than what we've got out there right now. And
it is heating up. The U.S. Justice Department is now investigating dozens who interrupted Sunday service. Protesters say a pastor at City's Church is also the acting director of enforcement for ICE in St. Paul. The Justice Department.
Hold on now. It's been 24 hours. they still saying that the protesters say. None of these news organizations have been able to verify that. Not that it matters, not that it excuses their behavior one iota, but the fact that all these news organizations are still saying, protesters say that this church, the pastor at this church works with ICE, is an executive at one of the ICE offices, right? Now I'm gonna tell you this, right? Why do y'all think? Because I want to see who could be my partner. I'm Black Columbo, right? I want to see who can be my partner, man. Why do you think that none of these organizations are verifying that fact and dispute? That allegation that's in dispute, whether one of the pastors at the church that got bombarded was works for ICE. Why do you think that no news organization after 24 hours has come out and said whether that's been verified or not? Why do you think that is? Huh? There you go, my man M626. If it had been verified, they would be like, we just verified that the pastor does work with ICE. Not that it matters, not that it absolves them of doing what they did, nothing like that. But just since that's the allegation that the protesters used as their pretense for going into the church, and you got all these damn reporters, all these fucking beat writers and shit. Nobody anywhere in the liberal media has went and checked that out. I remember Colin Flaherty, the great Colin Flaherty. He was a journalist before he got on YouTube, right? Shout out to Colin Flaherty. He said, if your mother tells you she loves you, check it out. Okay? If your mother tells you she loves you, check it out. None of these reporters have checked out whether this pastor at this church actually works for ICE. None of them. None of them. None of them. That's insane, right? Because they know if they verified that it was false, that's a ding against these protesters. Like, damn, the stupid, they were dead wrong. It wouldn't matter what happened, but damn, they went up in there for no reason. Even the bullshit reason that they said they went up in there for, it's not true. They had their facts wrong. They don't want to have to report that because we know they've tried to verify that. We know that they fucking went and checked to see if there's a pastor at that church that works for ICE.
Says they violated the FACE Act. That federal law prohibits intimidating or interfering with people's right to practice their faith. Black Lives Matter Twin City founder Chantel Allen was there.
That people really need to be informed and they need to pay attention to who they're.
This bitch's community is in shambles, okay? Her community is in shambles. I mean, outside of the third world, if we take the third world off the table, right, and we're only dealing with developed countries, the most violent place in the first world is Black America. The most violent place in the first world is Black America. We're removing third world countries now. So don't mention any third world countries. The most violent place in the first world is Black America. When you got these fucking sisters running around lecturing people and shit.
Black Lives Matter Twin City founder Chantel Allen was there.
That people really need to be informed, and they need to pay attention to who they're following, and they need to pay attention to what it really means to be American. And
this is great. They're not even considering that Donald Trump ran on this on deporting all the illegals and won in a landslide. You do know that a lot of people, this is how they trick you. They make you scared to speak. A lot of people are scared to speak, right? So they're running the same playbook as they did in 2020, right? You're scared to speak, right? Now you're scared to speak. You're scared to say you support Trump. They've done that again, where they've made the temperature to where you got to be scared to say you support Trump or his policy, even though he wouldn't be in the White House if a shit ton of people didn't support his policies.
And it really does mean that we love our neighbors.
St. Paul police also responded to the scene and say that they are investigating.
We love our neighbors. This neighbor shit, that's another thing that they're doing with the neighbor shit. Watch how many times they use the word neighbors. Neighbors. Instead of illegal immigrants, they're calling them neighbors now. You've never spoken to those motherfuckers. If some illegals live in your neighborhood, 9 times out of 10, they don't speak English. 9 times out of 10, you ain't got more than a fucking head nod from them. You can live next to them fuckers for a decade, and the most you got out of them is a head nod. Talking about our neighbors.
Experts say there's one thing prosecutors will look at when deciding on charges. That part of the story coming up all new at 5.
Some new video from St. Paul's East Side shows ICE agents pulling an elderly man from his home.
Really? Are you kidding me?
His family says Chongley Scott Tao is a U.S. citizen who was later released after agents confirmed his identity. Mark Goldberg recorded the encounter.
It is heartbreaking. It is infuriating.
Everything breaks their heart except for the real shit. Everything breaks their heart except for the people that get killed by illegals, except for the kids that get molested by illegals. None of that ever breaks their hearts. The rampant crime in their community done by people of color, that can't break their heart, because if they broke their heart, that would be racist. Only thing that breaks their heart are things that white people do. And all these ICE agents aren't white, but the white system. They only broken over things that allegedly white people do or the power structure does. Nothing else ever breaks their heart.
To see U.S. citizens, and this gentleman was a U.S. citizen, ripped out of his house without a shirt on, without a coat, without pants, wearing his boxers and Crocs. I don't know how anyone could watch that happen to any.
Well, I mean, we could watch it happen all the time. We watch fight videos. We watch World Star. Press 1. We watch World Star all the time. Some person get their shit kicked out of them. All these websites online, Fight Club, Fight This. We watch people get the shit beat out, bloopers and shit, motherfucking Faces of Death. We watch all that shit. Some old man motherfucking walked out of his house with no shirt on is not something that the average person doesn't see on the internet every day. If you scroll down your Twitter timeline for 2 minutes, you're going to see something worse than that. Okay? Save me the pearl clutching. Miss me with the pearl clutching.
ICE says they had to take Tao into custody while looking for 2 other guys. Hear why coming up all new at 6.
Yeah, man. They ain't do that shit for no reason. Salute to everybody out there, man. Shout out to my man Glider on the Moon, man. He says Con Media claims Lemon's actions was anti-Christian, but it was led by another group of Christians, a congregation of sons with a few Glider allies. This was just plain old anti-Glider. Yeah, facts, man. The pastor seemed to be an hombrito, but yeah, a lot of anti-whiteism going on. Facts.
A man arrested in Minnesota has died in ICE custody, the agency confirmed this weekend. ICE thinks the 36-year-old from Nicaragua died by suicide at this Texas detention center.
He would rather kill himself than go back to his country. I want y'all to think about that. He would rather kill himself. He would rather kill himself He would rather kill himself than go back to his country. I want you to think about that. Just think about that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right? Just put that in your pipe and smoke it. He would rather kill himself than go back to his own country. Okay. So what does that tell you? If he would rather kill himself than to go back to his own country, why are these people waving the flags of their old country? Why are Somalians waving the Somalian flag? Why are they turning their little areas into Somalian enclaves? Same with other groups that come over here. Why do they wave their flag? Why do they turn their little areas into enclaves where that literally have the same mores and values and system as what they escaped? These people are awful, man. Fuck these people, man. Fuck these immigrants, man.
In a press release, they said that he came here illegally, but did not say anything else about his criminal history.
The facility near the Mexico border is known as Camp East Montana. It's currently housing nearly 3,000 detainees, many of them from here. So Esme Murphy's here with more about the facility. What have you found out, Esme?
Well, it's very interesting. It's a brand new facility, just 5 months old, opened in August, specifically designed to hold the surge in detainees under President Trump's increased deportation efforts. CBS News reports the federal government awarded a company called Acquisition Logistics a $1.24 billion contract to build and operate the tent center. The company has no record of running a detention facility before this one. It's the nation's largest facility of its kind.
And from what we know, this is now the third recent death there. Is there anything you can tell us, or were you able to find out about those other deaths?
Well, one of them is presumed to be a medical one, so the second one. The third one is actually still under investigation. There's controversy surrounding this one. The medical examiner in Texas is reportedly planning to classify a man's death there as a homicide due to asphyxia from neck and chest compressions. ICE called it the death from medical distress.
And what do we know about conditions inside?
Well, according to human rights advocates, they're saying that the reports of overcrowding, lack of medical care, physical abuse, and lack of adequate food are everywhere. They are also explaining that these are conditions that these people are living with. Now, ICE denies.
That's more the reason we need to hurry up and get them back to their country, man. Get them out of that facility and get them back to their country as soon as possible. That's the only way to solve it. The way to solve it is not to stop arresting and deporting illegals. The way to stop it is to get them in, cycle them through that facility and back to their country faster.
Denies that and defends the facility, saying, quote, ICE is committed to ensure that all those in custody reside in safe, secure, and humane environments. Comprehensive medical care is provided from the moment individuals arrive.
And then what happens to the detainees?
You know, Amelia, we really don't know. This is not the way it is when somebody's arrested here in the U.S. by U.S. authorities, where we can tell people what's happened to them, when their next court appearance is. It's not like that. We get no information. And also, I must say, the families get no information either.
I think that's one of the troubling parts right there.
Yeah, and we know so many in our community may have a loved one down there.
Right,
So,
and they really don't know. We try and find information for them, but we're not able to.
All right. Thank you, Esme.
Thank you. Well, a celebration of community and hope as the Twin Cities honors the man who had a dream of freedom. This was the scene in Powderhorn today, the Minneapolis neighborhood where an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good.
Yo, they tie everything back to that shit. They tie everything back to that. That is crazy how that was a Bikram stretch. Salute to Muramasa. Says they never protested about Jocelyn Nungray. Yeah, man. What happened to her was wicked, yo. One thing about them illegals, when they do them girls, man, they do them girls bad, Jack. Yo, I can see why the liberal media doesn't cover those things, because the malice and the nefarious, the malintent, the sadism in a lot of those illegal murders of women, especially the modus operandi, like these dudes do them girls bad. Like we see girls get killed all the time, you know, stray bullets and shit like that, you know, might get choked or, you know, shot or something. Them illegals, they do them girls bad. And it's just it's awful optics, man.
All right. Thank you, Esme.
Thank you. Well, a celebration of community and hope as the Twin Cities honors the man who had a dream of freedom. This was the scene in Powderhorn today, the Minneapolis neighborhood where an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good. Jason Rantala shows us why community members push forward with this year's event amid so much uncertainty.
The festivities, the music and speakers honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. here at Powderhorn Park hold extra meaning this year. Family activities and meals for hundreds in the same neighborhood where Renee Good was killed by ICE agents less than 2 weeks ago.
It's been a lot. It's been really intense.
Neighbors now
It's been nothing. I've been in communities where people have gotten murdered. It's nothing. How many of you have lived in a community where somebody's gotten murdered? It's nothing. You don't even, especially if you don't know the person, because nobody knew her. She was from Missouri. She only been here for a couple months. She only been in Minnesota for a couple months. Nobody knew that bitch. That shit is nothing. I've lived in communities where dudes have gotten murdered plenty of times, man. And everybody, you can't even tell the next day. Now that little circle that he in and shit, yeah, that might be affected, but you don't know that motherfucker. You good. You just go about your life. They trying to act like a murder is like, oh, everybody in the neighborhood is affected. No, nobody knew that bitch. That bitch lived in Missouri. It went to Canada and came to Minnesota and then got killed. That was it.
living in fear, looking on as ICE apprehends people of color across the state.
I see my coworker.
Renee Good was killed by ICE agents less than 2 weeks ago.
It's been a lot. It's been really intense.
Neighbors now living in fear, looking on as ICE apprehends people of color across the state.
I see my co-workers and my neighbors terrified to leave out of the house. That's not fair. It's impacted all of us.
Then why are y'all here? Why are you here? Why are all of these people of color here? Because they know they're not illegal. How many illegals do you know, bitch? Like, think about it. Like, all this bitch's friends are illegal. If she meets you, first thing she asks, are you illegal? You say, nah. She be like, fuck off. You illegal? Yeah. Want to go out for coffee sometime? Like, bitch, how is everybody you know illegal? Because it wouldn't make any sense for that. Because I live in a town full of a bunch of Hispanics, and ain't nobody scared of shit. They Dominicans and fucking Puerto Ricans and shit. They don't give a fuck about none of this shit.
Neighborhood where Renee Good was killed by ICE agents less than 2 weeks ago.
It's been a lot. It's been really intense.
Neighbors now living in fear, looking on as ICE apprehends people of color across the state.
I see my co-workers and my neighbors terrified to leave out of the house. That's not fair.
She's lying too. She's lying too. She's lying. She's never had a conversation with no friend that said, I'm scared to leave the house today. She's never had that conversation. One thing too, that's another thing about liberals. They just lie. They just lie. All the time. They just lie. Everything they say is like, most things that come out their mouth are a lie. Or a gross exaggeration. If they're not lying, they're grossly exaggerating.
Out of the house, that's not fair.
It's impacted all of us.
Catherine Bushman is the executive director of the Powderhorn Park Neighborhood Association.
It seemed more important than ever to do this event as well as we could.
Bushman acknowledges that not holding this year's celebration, which had been going on for nearly 3 decades, was a real possibility.
When I started calling the artists, I started talking to all the partners. I said, how do you feel about having the MLK event? Everybody said, we need it.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day!
Martin Luther King Day marks a moment of reflection on how Dr. King might respond in a time.
No, it marks a moment of reflection on how evil white people are and how we can browbeat white people again and make white people feel bad.
I'm like this.
I think he would say that this struggle has been going on for many years, and the fight has only changed shape. I was taught that the civil rights movement solved.
You lying. Here she go lying. I was told you untaught shit, bitch. This shit you about to recount never happened.
Only changed shape. I was taught that the civil rights movement solved all the problems of the world.
Who told you that? Who told this bitch? Let's be honest. Think about it. We've all been around all these years, the same years as her, right? Who ever told this bitch that the civil rights movement solved all the problems of the world? Who told that bitch that? When has it ever been a time where somebody would say to this bitch, oh, the civil rights movement solved all the problems of the world? Who talks like that? Who would have ever said that to her? Think about that. Who would have ever said that to this bitch?
Say that this struggle has been going on for many years, and the fight has only changed shape. I was taught that the civil rights movement solved all the problems of the world, and it really didn't.
A celebration of King's legacy, particularly for those who can't be here today.
South Minneapolis is here for one another, and so we want to be here for them.
In Minneapolis, Jason Rantala, WCCO News.
More to come on the federal crackdown, including impacts in greater Minnesota. John Lauritsen spoke with the St. Cloud mayor and police chief today, what they say they're doing to keep community relations strong.
We do start this Martin Luther King Day monitoring the tense situation in Minneapolis, where some 1,500 troops could soon be deployed amid ongoing unrest. This as several hotels across the Twin Cities, including some housing federal officers, are closing down due to bomb threats. Those threats coming following a week
from liberals. Those threats coming from liberals. Those threats are coming from liberals. Salute to Astor J. He says, what's really fucked up is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who caused this shit, will never have to answer for it. God, I hate those two. Yeah, that is true, though. Like, they just let 20 million people in the country, unvetted, don't know who these people are, don't know nothing about them. And they just, and she trying to run for some more shit. She trying to run for president again and shit. It's like he just somewhere chilling, and yeah, they let 20 million people in and just go about their business. I mean, not even an investigation, nothing. Shout out to Adolph Diversity, man. Adolph Diversity in the building.
Weekend of escalating tensions between protesters, law enforcement, and agitators who have descended on the city to capitalize on the unrest and create social media content. One far-right influencer holding an anti-immigration...
Wow. Did you just hear what they did? Agitators descending on the city, and then they said one far-right. Can you believe that? 99% of the agitators that descended on this city are leftists. They're presenting it as if the agitator problem in Minnesota is a right-wing problem.
Following a weekend of escalating tensions between protesters, law enforcement, and agitators who have descended on the city to capitalize on the unrest and create social media content. One far-right influencer holding an anti-immigration rally, leading to a chaotic confrontation on the streets of downtown Minneapolis and further destabilizing the situation. But one of the most shocking moments from the weekend coming yesterday when protesters entered a church where an ICE agent allegedly serves...
Now, they don't say which... They didn't say leftist protesters. Press 1. They told you that the far right protester had a pro-immigration, anti-immigration thing. But they give no political affiliation of the protesters that stormed the church. It was just protesters.
And agitators who have descended on the city to capitalize on the unrest and create social media content. One far-right influencer holding an anti-immigration rally, leading to a chaotic confrontation on the streets of downtown Minneapolis and further destabilizing the situation. But one of the most shocking moments from the weekend coming yesterday when protesters entered a church where an ICE agent allegedly serves as a pastor and disrupted the service. The Department of Justice is now saying it is investigating that group for potentially violating the churchgoers' rights to exercise their freedom of religion. And now the Department of War saying it is readying 1,500 active duty troops to deploy to the area if President Trump decides to invoke the Insurrection Act, something the city's mayor is speaking out against on NBC's Meet the Press just yesterday.
In Minneapolis, crime is dramatically down. We don't need more federal agents to keep people safe. We are safe. Violent crime is down. Shootings are down. Carjackings are down in virtually every category, in virtually every neighborhood in the city. You know what's causing more chaos? Having these thousands of ICE agents and border control and apparently military, even potentially, on our streets.
News Nation has been on the ground since the very beginning of these protests. We continue to be there today. Mills Hayes, live in Minneapolis. Mills, we were just here live together about 12 hours ago. I just checked. It is -4 degrees where you are right now. What are you monitoring today?
Hi, Natasha. We're actually in St. Paul outside of the church where that protest happened yesterday. St. Paul police telling me that about 30 to 40 protesters interrupted the church service Sunday morning and that they did receive multiple 911 calls when this happened. People confused about exactly what was going on. Now, this protest happened early Sunday morning. The group going inside the church, interrupting the services and chanting things like justice for Renee Good, ICE out for good, hands up, don't shoot. And we could hear some of those protesters asking people if they supported ICE. And it appears that they were targeting the church because they believe that one of the pastors was a local ICE official.
You like ice? No, sir. I understand that what is happening is wrong, and I agree with that, but this can't happen.
Wimp, pussy. I understand what is happening is wrong, but this can't happen. No, nothing is wrong. You gotta. No, nothing that happening is wrong. The deportations are not wrong. We voted for that. Now the people getting deported. See, these liberals, that they got people scared. They got people afraid to just say, hey, man, I don't think anything going on is wrong. Why are you here? You're here because of that. Well, listen, I love the deportations. I love that the deportations are happening. They need more. We need more deportations. My only problem is that he's not deporting them fast enough.
This can't. This is the house of the Lord. To do this is unjust.
Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Scam Bondi. Anybody notice that the only convictions we've gotten under Scam Bondi and Cash Patel have been fucking basketball players for gambling? Press 1. We've got 1,000 basketball players caught up for gambling on games, but not much else. Not much else. This shit is crazy.
He says she spoke with the pastor of that church, saying that she's prepared to use the full force of federal law on attacks against law enforcement and the intimidation of Christians. The congregation's lead pastor said interruptions were shameful and asked anyone who wasn't worshiping to leave. ICE posting on X that agitators are going from hotel to hotel, church to church, hunting for federal law enforcement who are risking their lives to protect officers. Meanwhile, I did speak with one of the organizers of the event. Take a listen.
Do you guys feel like perhaps maybe you went too far? I know that there was one guy
Absolutely not. Listen. I'm not going to go down this line of questioning with you. This is gas.
White lady, she told you, white lady. The white lady didn't even ask aggressively. The white lady was on her heels. The white lady was scared. The white lady was like speaking, like she knew she's speaking to a sister. So white lady was on her best behavior. She still got chewed out. That's bananas.
Guys feel like perhaps maybe you went too far? I know that there was one guy
Absolutely not. Listen. I'm not going to go down this line of questioning with you. This is gaslighting. Who has gone too far is Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, J.D. Vance, and the people who run ICE.
She tells me
He told you, white lady. She put you in your place. She put you in your place, white lady.
that they're not worried about the Department of Justice investigating them because they investigate everyone. That's what she said. And she also says that they feel like the media focusing on this is gaslighting the American people about what's happening here. Now, we also do know DHS sources confirming that an ICE supervisor is one of the pastors at this church here, Natasha.
Okay, so now we got it confirmed. Okay, finally. Oh, isn't this a nice story? I love stories like this.
And now to an NBC4 exclusive. A family in Long Beach is leaving the only home they've known for the past 2 decades, not because they want to, but because they say fear has left them with no choice. They are self-deporting to Mexico. And
yeah, hey, man, round of applause. Listen, if y'all need a ride to the airport, I got you, man. I'll take y'all to the airport myself, man. Salute. This is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Barry B. Barry B is in the building. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Murmur said they would never go to a mosque and protest. Shh. Listen, if they had gone to a mosque in their dreams, let me tell you something. If that mob of leftists had gone to a mosque in their dreams, okay, and woke up in a cold sweat, pissy ass bed, oh my God, it was just a dream. They would literally donate thousands of dollars to the local Muslim Boys and Girls Club. They would fucking rent their clothes. They would scar their bodies. They would bow before every Muslim they saw. And that's just if they dreamed that they did it. Okay? And then if they told anybody about the dream, Pam Bondi would fucking prosecute them and shit. Just for having having a dream about it.
And now to an NBC4 exclusive. A family in Long Beach is leaving the only home they've known for the past 2 decades, not because they want to, but because they say fear has left them with no choice. They are self-deporting to Mexico. NBC4's Makala Medina spoke with the family as they crossed the border this morning, and he joins us now from Long Beach with their story. Mac.
Well, Carolyn, it really was a perplexing moment for the Bogano family. Sad, they say, to leave certainly here Long Beach, the U.S., their home, but they say they're excited for the new future in Mexico. The mom is a U.S. citizen. The husband's undocumented. They also have a teenage son, leaving everything they have behind from here in Long Beach to start over in a country that the husband hasn't seen in more than 20 years.
So we are in
Otay, we crossed the border in Otay.
Sonia Burgueño shows us the moment her family crossed over to Mexico this morning.
We packed as much as we could.
Calling it the hardest decision her family has ever made. She's a U.S. citizen, married for more than 20 years with deep roots here in Long Beach. Her and her husband built Frank's Landscaping together from the ground up.
Frank's Landscaping. Yeah, and now we can have goddamn American company get those bids, to get all those contracts.
In the community they raise their children in.
Like our clients are like our family.
Damn, they don't work. Americans ain't gonna work that fast. Look how fast he working. God,
Clients are like our family.
One thing about you on burritos, man, y'all sure do work fast, man. I'm gonna give you that.
Serving the community
Look at
they
him
raise
go.
their children in.
Like our clients are like our family. We've had clients for 20 years.
But Sonia says fear slowly started taking over their lives. Her husband, undocumented, but with no criminal record, he says, began feeling watched, he says, by ICE agents who were conducting operations in the area. And then he says he was followed. Clients showed up to his work and the agents moved on.
He came home that day in tears saying, I'm not a criminal. I don't want to be treated this way. I'm in a golden cage, but it doesn't stop being a cage. And I have dignity.
Rather than
Okay, well, yeah, man. Don't put up with that shit. Leave,
waiting
man.
for a knock on the door, the family
That's what I think, man. If you're being treated like that, you should just leave. You know? Hell yeah. If I snuck into a restaurant, like say I snuck into the movie theater, right? And the usher was looking at me funny. Now I know I snuck in, right? But now the usher's looking at me funny, I would feel uncomfortable too. I'd be like, oh shit, he knows. And oh shit, he knows, man. He know he about to come check my ticket, man. Fuck, man, bitch ass usher doing his job. How much this motherfucker get paid? God damn, man. Fuck, he know I snuck in. That's all that guy's feeling. He know he snuck in the country. And he know the usher is about to come down the aisle and ask people for their tickets. And he like, fuck it, man. Let me just get the fuck out of here, man. This would be embarrassing if he gotta walk me out. I'm sitting in the middle too. He ain't sitting in no aisle. See, he's sitting in the middle. It'd be embarrassing the usher come in and have to walk him out of the fucking theater in front of everybody. He just laughed, man.
chose to leave on their own terms, selling their business, pulling their teenage son out of high school, and moving to his father's hometown in Sinaloa.
No puedo vivir con esa libertad.
He says living in fear isn't living at all. The decision meant leaving behind Sonia's elderly mother and...
Hold on, he can't speak English? He can't speak English? He's been there for 20 years.
Fear isn't living at all. The decision town in Sinaloa.
No puedo vivir con esa libertad.
He says...
Holy shit. He can't speak English.
Out of high school and moving to his father's hometown in Sinaloa.
No puedo vivir con esa libertad.
He says living in fear isn't living at all. The decision meant leaving behind Sonia's elderly mother and her extended family, all U.S. citizens. But Sonia says dignity mattered more than geography.
I don't want him to feel that his dignity has been robbed away. I don't want him to feel like he's a criminal, because he's not.
For now, the family is starting over with limited savings and a lot of uncertainty. Family and friends have helped by setting up a GoFundMe to cover some of the moving costs and repairs to a home.
Man, $1,150. What do you mean? Don't you have a business? They trying to get one last grift before they leave the country and shit.
Home in Mexico.
Well, it's a little bit harder because I live more time here and then in the United States and in Mexico.
Francisco says what matters most is that they're staying together.
We see what's going on in this country. We see where it's headed, and we don't want to.
That's so fucking vague. We see what's going on in this country. What? Fuck you. Get out. Bye.
Be a part of it.
Sonia calls the move an ending and a beginning.
You can do well in any country as long as you put the work in the effort.
There you go. That's the spirit.
The family says they plan to stay with some friends as they make those repairs on the home in Mexico. Live in Long Beach, I'm Makala Medina, NBC4 News.
That's the spirit, man.
Apollo, thank you. It has been 7 months since the Trump administration stepped up immigration enforcement operations in Southern California. That crackdown sparking widespread protests. And now a man is suing the LAPD over injuries he says he suffered during one of those demonstrations. Atla Chinoli Tezcatlipoca was filming that video when he says an LAPD officer shot him in the face and chest with a foam projectile. This happened in June during a protest against ICE agents in downtown LA. He says he suffered extensive damage that required multiple surgeries, an experience, he says, that led to emotional distress and nightmares.
It's still there. This pain, this infliction is still here. In a broken jaw, I still have the pain in my mouth, numbness here. I would continue to fight for the rights of our people.
We reached out to the LAPD for comment, and they said they cannot talk about pending litigation.
All right, man. Well, we're going to get to Don Lemon next, man. Look.
Good evening. A man is dead tonight after reportedly trying to break into a home and then getting shot by the homeowner. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Troy Hayden. The chaotic scene playing out late last night in Buckeye in the West Valley, the home near Yuma Road and 237th Lane. 12 News journalist Jade Cunningham has been talking to people in the neighborhood and joins us live from Buckeye Police with the details. Jade?
Yeah, good evening. And a lot of the people that I spoke with today, they've lived on that street and in that neighborhood for many years. They obviously are a little bit on edge after what happened there last night. They tell me that nothing like this has ever happened there before. Some, of course, scared, others just trying to understand why it happened, trying to make sense of it. And for those who heard the gunshots, they tell me they are still hearing those gunshots, kind of replaying it over in their mind. We actually have obtained exclusive video, which shows and where you can hear those reported gunshots. Take a listen. Now, today, my photographer and I went to the home where this shooting happened. We were able to speak with some family of those who live there. They declined to comment, understandably. No doubt, though, they have to be extremely shaken by what happened. There are reminders still all over the property of what happened, evidence markers, even the...
Wow. Okay. Let's go to the other app, man. Man, got your ass smoked. What a way to go out. What a fucking way to go out, man.
Administration and the fake news magas are losing their mind over something that's not even true.
Oh, no, sir. This ain't got nothing to do with MAGA. This got everything to do with you taking your faggot ass up in that church and harassing people like that. Now you want to circle back and act like, oh, well, I am in no affiliation, association. No. You are in 110% corroboration with the Democratic Party that is causing more and more and more problems. You, by the way, who keeps saying that white people are devils, but you married to a white man. So does that make you the devil's broad? I'm trying to understand what.
Not only married, but let's be honest, man. Since they like being fucking unfiltered and throwing gaslighting and throwing everything around and talking about us in the most vile terms, man. Let's be honest. Don Lemon ain't just married to a white man. Don Lemon gets fucked in the ass by a white man all the time, who he holds hands with and goes to galas. Everywhere Don Lemon goes to a gala, you ever see, you know how you see fucking Cardi B, she with Offset, and motherfucking Nicki Minaj, she with her husband. And if there's a gala, Don Lemon is going with that white man who fucks him in the ass every night. We gotta stop the bullshit. The dude causing all these problems, talking about white people and shit. If we threw a gala, Ock Nation gala, all the fucking celebrities invited, Don Lemon is going to bring that white dude he's going to be his plus one. We gotta stop this shit, man. Don Lemon's plus one at any event. I'm talking about any event you throw. Any event you throw, you invite Don Lemon. His plus one is going to be a white man. And we got to stop acting like it's normal that he talks about white people that way. It's not normal. He's definitely overcompensating. He's 1,000% overcompensating. And I've seen a lot of brothers do this. Like brothers will date a white girl or date a Latina girl, and they feel like they, a sellout, so they'll go extra hard with the pro-black shit. That was very common back in the 80s and the 90s. All them like the pro-black dudes. This is before Dr. Umar and this new generation, but this is the old generation of pro-blacks. They all was married to white women and Hispanic women, right? None of them had a black wife, right? My mother was kind of in those circles, right? You know what I mean? Because she was an author and shit like that. So she different events would take us to places with them and shit. None of them had black wives. They all had a Latina wife or a motherfucking Arab wife or a white wife, right? It was extra black. I'm talking about black, the blackest thing you ever seen. So it's not nothing I haven't seen before. But they were fucking the white person. At least they were fucking the white person. This nigga's getting fucked by the white person. Press what? He's getting fucked by the white person.
You are in 110% corroboration with the Democratic Party that is causing more and more and more problems. You, by the way, who keeps saying that white people are devils, but you married to a white man. So does that make you the devil's broad? I'm trying to understand, what is it exactly that you are doing, and what is it exactly that you want us to think that you're doing? You are opposition to any and everything that is successful in this country. Anything that is trying to get this country together, you are in direct opposition of. But then you want to come back and try to play the victim. No. You're not a victim, Don. You are not a victim. You are 100% guilty of all the shit that you have already done. And then you keep doing it. Then you keep doing it. Then you want us to come in and talk about, oh, well, it's the news. It's the news. You're a damn journalist yourself. Listen, people. I keep trying to tell you, we're doing a complete separation. If you are not a melanated American, if you are not one of our non-melanated cousins, all y'all can get out. Even the people that were born here. If you do not like this country, and Don, you got plenty of money, take your ass somewhere else. You and your husband. Why don't you go somewhere? Where is all the rest of these people? Where did what's the name? The white lady that had the TV show. Go with Portia. Go on Ellen DeGeneres. Why don't you go be neighbors with Ellen and them? Just get that fuck out.
Man, I tell you.
Uso, what are we here for?
For the protection of the black man and woman and child by any means necessary. Unify, educate, demonstrate, liberate.
Why?
The Black Panthers, man. The fucking Black Panthers, man. What the fuck?
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. So let me just make it clear, because this a assistant attorney general, I don't know, gosh, what's her name? Something Hammett, Goen or whatever. So I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protests at the church before you start blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea. Thank you for it.
You're still in big trouble, Don. You're in big trouble, man. So Nicki Minaj went after Don, man. She tweeted, "Don cocksucking lemon, disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up." Yeah, hell no. Don know better. Don, he a gay black man. He got some, yeah, he got some protection out here, but Islam has risen above blacks on the totem pole. Blacks don't even realize that. Islam, they higher on you on the victim totem pole, man. I know you're like, when did that happen? It happened over the last several years, over the last 20 years. Islam is over you.
So people have been asking me about responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about shit for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are a homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans, and you're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules.
He's so like, Don, even let's just say that's true, right? You don't say that. Like, you don't say that. Don't say that, man. That's not, considering your stance and all your public positions on all this stuff, you don't say stuff like that. Even if someone's gotten you emotional and they've attacked you and you're just trying to, throw shit back at them and hurt them the way they hurt you, you still don't say that, Don. Given your stances, given what you're allegedly fighting for. You don't then call somebody as a slur or an attempt to demean them by calling them the thing that you're allegedly trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? You don't call them, you don't attempt to harm them with words by calling them the thing you're trying to protect.
Homophobic bigot. You don't care about African Americans, and you're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a pedophile. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
Holy shit, man.
But trying to tie me as a journalist, to turn me into an activist, and I'm not. I was not there in activism at all. I was there just simply chronicling what they were doing, which is what journalists do all the time. But trying to tie me.
Look at her. She like, oh shit. Now I have cum on my cheeks. This fucker done put cum on my cheek. That's what her face is saying. Like, oh fuck. Anybody got any hand wipes or any fucking disinfectant wipes? This faggot just put cum on my cheek. Salute to Thrifty, man. He says your thumbnail's hilarious. Salute to you, man. Appreciate it, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button. Yeah, white cum. She like, I went my whole life avoiding having white cum on me, and then one kiss of the cheek from Don Lemon, and it ruined everything. God damn it, man.
All right, world, let's talk about Don Lemon. Don Lemon. Pimping pain for politics. How you gonna stroll into a church service with a mob full of anti-ICE agitators, a house of worship, mind you, mid-sermon, waving cameras around, live streaming, calling it journalism, and then try to lecture us about manufactured outrage? My stepbrother in Christ, you literally walked your happy ass into a church with a mob and a camera. That's not journalism. That's not reporting. That's not the First Amendment either. That's content, Brody, bro. You didn't cover a protest. You joined it. You didn't stand outside. You didn't observe. You didn't interview after the fact. You marched your ass into a house of worship mid-service. Like, hey, everyone, don't mind us. We're just here to disrupt prayer for the algorithm. And then you have the audacity to talk about manufacturing outrage. Bro, you brought the factory. You turned the cameras on and hit record. That outrage didn't manifest itself. You escorted that shit into a church and live streamed it. You can't hide behind free speech when you intentionally invaded spaces to intimidate and disrupt. That's the same fucking logic used by every extremist group who ever got shut down. Let's put it like this. You'd lose your shit if a group walked into a black church, a mosque, a synagogue, or even a fucking pride event with cameras rolling doing the same shit that you did. You wouldn't call it journalism. You call it harassment, intimidation, violation of a protected space. And you'd be right. So why the fuck do you think that what you did wasn't an invasion tactic? Riddle me that shit. And now when the DOJ is talking about charges and
because he's special. That's a lot of things. That's another thing about these groups, right? You see it with the Somalians. You know what I mean? With the latest, since they're the latest group that we saw, you know, they think they're special. They're not supposed to get charged with that shit. They're special. Don Lemon feels like he's special. Yeah, I mean, if anybody else was to do it, that's why they seem so hypocritical. That's why they can be so hypocritical to the point where it's like, wait a second, you just heard what you just said 10 seconds ago, right? They can be that level of hypocritical because they think they're special.
say, yeah, no, that's not protected. Suddenly you're fucking confused. Suddenly you're a free speech warrior. Suddenly you're a journalist again. You don't scream rules for thee your whole fucking career and then cry oppression the moment that they apply to you. And while we're here, let's talk about the hypocrisy on expert fucking mode. This is the same dude who can't go 5 minutes without talking about how awful white people are while married to a white man. Make it make sense. So let me translate what actually happened. You wanted outrage. You wanted footage. You wanted chaos. You wanted virality. You wanted relevance. What you got was you are on notice. That's accountability knocking on the door, and you're shocked because it never knocked on yours. Churches are not protest props, you dumb fuck. Prayer services are not your B-roll. Activism doesn't magically become journalism just because you used to have a CNN badge with a fucking rainbow on it. That wasn't manufactured outrage, that's fucking manufactured content. The standard doesn't change based on who you like. Same actions, same rules, same consequences. Anything else is just ideology laundering.
Well, what does matter who's in office, because playing Bondi ain't gonna do shit unless you're a basketball player betting on games. So you ain't got shit to worry about. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Right now, I'm calling it. Ain't shit gonna happen to Don Lemon. I'm calling it right now. I mean, I'm not. When I say ain't shit, I'm talking about he won't be charged with anything. Don Lemon will not be charged with anything. Do I think they'll charge other protesters? Yeah. I think some of those other protesters will get charged. Don Lemon won't get charged with anything. Maybe disorderly conduct. Nothing worth a fuck. Nothing that a Minneapolis judge won't throw out. Ain't shit gonna happen to Don because of this shit. Republicans don't know this shit. They just don't. Just so fucking frustrated. Let me drop the link, man. We in the building, man. We are in here. Everybody, late night, talking about this Don Lemon situation, man. Don Lemonhead. Don Lemming. Let's go. I'm telling you right now, man. See what this brother got to say, man.
Yeah, Don Lemon knew better than to go to a black church. He would have never tried that. It would have been a totally different scenario that would have happened. Totally different outcome. Because we don't play about stuff like that. You're not going to come in and you think he would have got an interview? Are you kidding me? He wouldn't have got past the aunties at the front. They would have shut that down. He's not even getting in through the front door.
Here's the thing, though. It depends, man, because he would have taken a different tact. I think he would have taken a different tact at a black church. But yeah, if he wouldn't have taken that tact. He just wouldn't have rolled in all with a bunch of white people screaming and shit. But I think he could have, disrupted the service in another way. Just, I don't know. It's dice. I don't know. Maybe not. He would have had to take a whole different tact. What is this?
We are one. We won't stop fighting. We won't stop fighting. Till ICE is gone. Till ICE is gone.
Target says that their mission is to support the joy of everyday life for all families. Then do it.
Do it now.
That Target can't win for losing. They supposed to be boycotting Target. Wasn't black people boycotting it because of DEI? They got rid of their DEI policy, so black people started boycotting Target. Target supposed to be out of business, man, without black business. Look at these people. These people are so lame, man. All these people are just lame and soft tissue and stinky and fucking goddamn. These people, you know what I'm saying? These type of people wear like clothes made out of hemp and shit, and use like crystal cologne and shit. I mean, deodorant. Use that crystal. and then like brush their they don't brush their teeth. They use a chew stick. They do all this bullshit, right? All this bullshit, and then hop on a 747. You know what I mean? To Jamaica and shit to stay in a fucking 5-star hotel and shit. And then rent a fucking goddamn Maybach or some shit, you know, and gallivant around the island, and then come back and I'm so pious. I wear sandals and shit made of hemp, and you know, I don't use shaving cream. You know what I mean? I use fucking goddamn mud and a sharp rock. People are fucking assholes, man.
Justice over profit.
Justice over profit. People over.
Look at how gay and lame this shit is, and look how white it is. They got the black lady centered. She doesn't know she's been used as a prop. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you like? Like, what the fuck do you got to do with any of this shit? The one black person, they were like, all right, you sit right here and act victimized. By what? Like, what are you victimized by in this scenario? They couldn't find a Mexican. So they said, all right, we got a black girl. What about Khadijah? All right, Khadijah, you sit up front, man. We gonna have this. This is going on live. You sit up there and look sad. And we're gonna all sit here and comfort you and save you.
I sit here not only as a mother or a grandmother, but I sit here as a great-granddaughter of an immigrant.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. These people are awful, man. Think about this, man. This is so pretentious and pompous. It's so egotistical. To sit here and talk about. I sit here as a grandmother and a granddaughter of immigrants. This is all virtue signaling. So fucking pretentious, man, and vile and disgusting. This is disgusting. You people suck. You people are disgusting, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Sponsor the show. Take the $10, $20 challenge. People are awful. You people suck. Somebody needs to let these people know how much they suck. You suck.
And I sit here and I ask Target, you must stand with us. You must stop discriminating. You must stop treating.
What is Target doing? What is Target doing? How has this become Target's fault? What has Target done?
Immigrants wrong. You must give them better wages. You must give them an opportunity to have housing. You must give them an opportunity to feed their children. I sit here because this is the right thing to do.
That's right. That's right.
I just wanted y'all to know that I was not born and raised in Dallas, but everything that I could possibly do to support.
Jasmine Crockett, man. He brought Jasmine Crockett on stage at his concert, man.
What this woman's about to do. Y'all know what's going on, right? Y'all know what's going on, right? I just want her to seize this moment in front of her home crowd and just let y'all know what she's about to do, and it won't be possible without all y'all love and support. Ms. Crockett, the stage is yours.
Give it up for Tyrese! Listen.
I ain't going nowhere.
He'll be right back. He'll be right back, I promise. No, I ain't gonna say nothing. You don't listen, you paid for Tyrese. But I wanna be clear about something though. Because he sang a song and he said, change is gonna come. I am here to tell you that Texas, change is gonna come. That change can only come if you do your part though. Do you know what your part is? What is your part? What is your part? All right, so let me talk to y'all about voting. So early voting is gonna start February 17th. Election day is gonna be March 3rd. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. They are literally killing people in the streets right now. Shooting them point blank in their head in the middle of a neighborhood.
That's happening in your city. That's happening in Dallas, man. Every night. This black woman's district is Dallas. A nigger terror dome. We talking about a fucking black fucking Auschwitz. And she on here talking about fucking Renee Good in a room full of black people. To do that and for the crowd to accept that just shows you how awful black people are terrible people. I mean, they're just awful. Every black, smash, definitely smash, but every black city in Texas is awful. Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Calvary, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. He said Pooh Shiesty robbed Gucci Man in Dallas last week. Oh, that happened in Dallas? I thought that happened in Memphis. Yeah, I heard about that. Gucci down bad, man. Gucci down bad, man. But we'll see how that turns out. You can't count Gucci out. Gucci a survivor, man. I ain't gonna count Gucci out yet. But it looked bad though, Gucci. Damn Gucci.
In daytime. And they're literally looking and saying, oh well. It wasn't an easy decision for me to make. Listen, I got my guys that make sure I am always protected with me. But we have come too far from where we started from to turn back now. Because I know y'all gotta wake up and go to church in the morning. Okay? We have come too far. So for me, this is about us. It is about reclaiming who we are. They want to try to act like we are the outsiders, but the last time I checked, we ain't no colonizers.
She should have kept it short and sweet. I can tell by now where the bar is right now. She talked too long. You can tell it's only halfway through. She talked too long. She supposed to came up there short and sweet. Her big mouth ass got up there and talked too long. He said Gucci washed. Yeah, man. Gucci from back in the day, man. That's why I kind of like ride with Gucci, man. I ride with Gucci because he from our era a little bit. He kind of like from our era. But it's like, oh man, Gucci, man. I hate to see the old heads go out like that.
Last time I checked, they took us from our homeland. But this is the only home that we know. And they have sold us a promise of America that meant that we would all have an opportunity.
Bitch, you're a congresswoman. All these other bitches got good jobs. That's why they got sitting front row at the Tyrese concert. A bunch of well-to-do black women sitting around getting serenaded by some fucking black ass millionaire. Sitting here talking about fucking slavery and shit.
Right now, a lot of people's dreams are being dashed. They are telling us that we are less than. I am here to tell you that we are more than, especially when we stand together. So I just gotta say that I love my brother Tyrese. A lot of people don't know who it is that I do know because we have genuine relationships. It's a lot of people that really lack courage in this moment. But my homeboy said, listen, I'ma be in your city.
Come out on stage.
You gotta be here. And I was like, I may be in Houston because, Oak Cliff, where you at? The Cliff know who I am, right? DeSoto, where you at? Yeah. GP, where you at? All right, so the point is, Arlington. Yeah, because I know y'all in here, right? I know y'all know who I am, and I know that y'all know that I'm about this life. So I'm supposed to be in Houston. Ty said, listen, you gotta come back home to Dallas. So I done went all the way through East Texas. But my God said, you are coming on stage with me. I see a lot of women up front. How many of y'all got your bestie with you? Right? Let me tell you, I love this man. I know y'all do, because y'all right up front. Y'all doing the most. I know y'all do.
If they're not doing the most, that's love.
Wow. Yikes. What was it last time? Oh, the fuck around and find out crew. Who remember that? The fuck around. What was that crew that the blacks with the guns last time? Last time they ran the play in 2020, it was the not fucking around crew, the NFAC. Wasn't that it? Yeah, the NFAC. Who remember them? The not fucking around crew. They was the blacks with the guns, and they kept shooting each other. Who remember that? Who remember that? They kept shooting each other. They kept having Who remember them, man? Because this is the same play. This is the same play. They're doing it's crazy how they're doing everything all over again from 2020. Instead of defund the police, it's abolish ICE. But it's the same play. Instead of blacks, now it's illegals. Yeah, Grandmaster. Yeah, Grandmaster Flash. Oh shit! And they kept shooting each other, like by accident, not like some nigga shit, but like on accident. They kept having like accidental discharges and shit every time they got together. Like they couldn't get together without accidentally shooting somebody. Now it's the Black Panthers in 2026. 2026 is the Black Panthers. 2026 is the Black Panthers. Oh shit, man. This play, man, I swear to God, man. This is hilarious, man. This is hilarious, man. I'm telling you, man. Oh shit. And this Black Panther group gonna end up just like they gonna end up. Shout out to my man Johnny Red, man, watching on Rumble. They gonna listen. They gonna end up just like they gonna end up just like they gonna end up just like yo.
Man whose weapon accidentally fired during a rally in Lafayette last year is now heading to prison. 27-year-old Terrence Jones of Carencro was sentenced in federal court on Friday to more than 6 years in prison and 2 years probation. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This is video of Jones when he was arrested. His gun accidentally discharged while attending the NFAC rally at Parc Sans-Souci in downtown Lafayette in October 2020. No one was injured. The NFAC, a black militia group based in Atlanta, held a peaceful rally in the park following the police shooting death of Trayford Pellerin.
Trayford Pellerin, you forgot about him, but I don't know who the fuck that was.
He led his armed black militia group to Louisville twice for protests over Breonna Taylor. Now the leader of the NFAC, Grandmaster Jay, has been indicted on several federal charges. His real name is John Johnson, and the charges stem from allegedly pointing a long rifle at law enforcement during the second visit in September. They highlighted photographs of that happening there the day before the Kentucky Derby during protests over Breonna Taylor's death. Johnson faces one count of assaulting, resisting, or impeding, which carries a 20-year prison sentence if convicted. He's also facing another count of brandishing a firearm in relation to a crime of violence. That carries a 7-year federal sentence if convicted. Johnson is due back to appear in court again in March.
Jesus Christ. It's the same play. It's the same play. It's the same play, man. It's the same. They coming back with the same shit. Now we got the Black Panther Party. This ragtag bunch of motherfuckers.
Black power. Black love, black love.
Jesus Christ.
Just to be clear, they're holding indigenous people there because they're trying to finish the genocides they've already started while they're committing these. That's why they're doing this. They're wiping the table clean of everyone that does not look like me. That's what they're doing. That's what's happening here. That's why they're kidnapping indigenous people. That's why because they think they're allowed to finish these genocides while they're committing the others.
Exactly.
He doesn't believe anything he's saying. He doesn't believe a word he's saying. Not one word. He just grifting.
been doing for 250 fucking years. They're literal fucking Nazis, and they operate like fucking slave catchers. Their ideology is fucking.
It's just all fucking buzzwords. And look at this sister. She losing her head. She like, oh. Man, this shit is all so fucking insane, man.
Fucking Nazis. They're white supremacists, and they operate in the function of slave catchers. Literally, they move around in roving bands and decide who belongs and who doesn't at will, with no oversight. What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
What's that gonna mean?
This is a white supremacist agenda.
Why do you say that?
No, me, dude. I'm out here. What team are you on? Come on, man.
This is Don Lemon.
All right, man.
All right, well,
Sorry, brother.
No, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so why do you say that?
This is a white supremacist agenda. They're not just going after criminals. I'm so sorry I went after you. I didn't recognize.
I look upset.
There's all kinds of folks out here with media. They're not just going after criminals. They're going door to door and they're targeting any black and brown person they can find. And all of America is next. If you live by a black and brown person, you're next. They're above the law.
Yo, this is insanity, man. And black people love hearing this shit too. They love hearing this shit. They want to be in the limelight. The Mexicans is in the limelight right now. Blacks want to be back in the limelight.
They outnumber our police. It's a white supremacist agenda. No,
You just today's your first.
I live nearby. I've been out a couple times.
Yeah. But why do you?
I'm so sorry I went after you, man.
Dude, it's fine. Why do you out here instead of like being in your warm, cozy house?
Because there's a point where whites got to stand up and recognize that this is a white person problem, and we need to represent our black and brown neighbors and disavow MAGA.
Mm.
Yeah, we need to put an end to this.
White person's
We need to
problem.
put an end to this. We fucked
White
up so
people's
bad.
problem.
This is the end result of all of the bigotry and racism that we have been putting up with for years. This is the logical conclusion.
This is the logical conclusion.
He's a citizen! He's a citizen! He's a citizen! He's a citizen! That's my brother-in-law!
What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm not a U.S. citizen.
We're citizens.
Okay, then show your ID.
Get your ID.
What the fuck?
We're native. What are you doing? Why'd you hit him? No!
Oh, we're citizens. Oh. I bet nary one of them encounters required them to say that. None of them encounters required. I bet you most of those people weren't even being arrested by ICE. They were probably being arrested by the police. Talking about, well, I'm a citizen.
He's a citizen!
Why are you running?
He's a citizen!
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know he's a citizen? What's the context of this situation?
He's a citizen! That's my brother-in-law!
What's your name?
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm not a U.S. citizen.
We're citizens.
Okay, then show your ID.
Get your ID.
What the fuck?
We're native. What are you doing? Why'd you hit him? No! Stop! What are you doing? No! Why? My nephew!
Yeah, but bitch, are you whatever you did? Like, no, she listen. There's so many times where if you got kids in the car, the police can still approach your car. The police can't just approach your car and say, "I got kids in my car." Like, well, we were telling this drug mule got 58 keys of coke in the car. You pull her over and come up. I got kids in the car. They're like, all right, well, we were gonna seize these 58 kilos of coke, but she had kids in the car, so we let her go. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? I got kids in the car. What the fuck is going? What's the situation?
She's trying to go to work.
What the fuck?
Bro, what? Y'all some crazy. Y'all got no heart, for real. No heart. No heart. She's a female. You guys hit her. How you guys gonna arrest her? Break from the United States, bro. You better break from the US, bro. To school, bro. I was going to school. I was going.
It's time to go, but now you going to Mexico. You were going to school, but now you going to Mexico. I was going to school, but now you going to Mexico.
I was going to school. I was going to school.
Now you going to Mexico.
Charges get mentioned, and all of a sudden, no, Donnie Don have nothing to do with it.
The MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true.
We're fake news. Oh, okay.
So let me just make it clear, because this assistant attorney general, I don't know, gosh, what's her name? Something Hammett, Goen or whatever.
Aren't you a journalist? Couldn't you research the motherfucker's name before you did this video?
Oh, I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there.
When you followed them there?
Chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which
Once they started getting loud, that's when your journalism kicked in?
included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization.
Are you interviewing the pastor when the pastor's preaching? This was his freaking point.
It's called journalism.
No, it's called interrupting a church service.
First Amendment, all that stuff.
First Amendment gives me the right to go in somebody's property and rudely interrupt. That's what it gives me, my privilege.
For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go.
Nah, look, I'm trying not to curse on this post. You could have walked your butt across the street and waited until the service was over. You could have waited until the service was over. If you weren't a part of it.
So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization?
No, boo. We're talking to you, who should have known better with your journalistic behavior.
And whose idea it was to have the protest at the church before you start blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea.
What we know is you walked your black ass up in there, dude. That's what we know. With your bitch ass. Sorry, God, I could not help it. Oh my God. We know you was in the church, Don, shoving a mic in the pastor face.
Thank you for your attention to this man.
Can't stand my president, but copy everything he do. We ain't paying no attention to no matters you got.
Love Don Lemon, man. He gives you so much content, and he's so aloof, and he's bumbling. He's so bumbling and delusional. He has no self-awareness.
I recognize you haven't reviewed all the material
anymore.
And but you have. The
diverse. The percentage.
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. Listen, I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
Right. Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. And how
are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I understand.
But just listen to his point about illegal.
No, I want to know why he gets to instruct
You're changing the topic.
Hang on. You're making a point about the people being arrested.
I understand that your job is predicated on just getting increasingly more demented every single week, and that the audience comes back to see if perhaps
make your point.
My point is that you're saying the word illegals, but you don't even really know what's happening. Or actually, I think you do, and you're doing this on purpose. But
yes,
the truth
because
is,
I want the law enforced.
They are not just targeting illegal immigrants. They are targeting natural-born U.S. citizens.
They are not.
That is a fact. You cannot deny that. I mean, you can on national television.
They are
deny
not.
facts all the time.
They
You've
are
done it a
not.
couple times in this very episode.
I still want to know how you're going to enforce your
right.
language
For God's
edicts on
sakes.
it.
We'll take that up.
How are we going to enforce it?
We're going to take that up at the break. Coming.
Scott. Oh my God. Scott Jennings they're very upset with Scott Jennings. They want to silence Scott Jennings. That just shows you how bad it is. They haven't been able to do.
I recognize you haven't reviewed all the material.
Scott Jennings was. Now they're trying to. The other lady the other day is trying to silence him. Now this person's trying to censor him. Let's see.
If we dox these ICE agents, if we can dox these ICE agents, we need to go to their fucking houses. You understand me? I know that shit sounds crazy or cruel or like, Jesus, you're gonna... Yes, I am. I am. This is war. Do you understand? We're at war with the government, and the branch of the government, our state, local police, troopers, guard, aren't doing anything. Fry, Walls, Peggy, Amy, Tina, none of them are doing anything. Angie Craig, Elon Omar, much as I like her, none of them are doing.
He likes Elon Omar. Wow. Yo, there's some strange fucking swans up in fucking Minnesota, boy. God damn.
Anything. None of them are doing anything. You want to come after our families? Okay. Game on.
Holy shit.
The victims, but
says man randomly shot and killed 3 tourists after they became stranded at a rental property near Disney World in Florida. Ahmad Jihad Bojay, 29, was arrested for the cold-blooded murder of 3 tourists staying next door to his home. A deputy found the men dead from gunshot wounds in the yard and called for backup. 2 victims were identified as brothers Robert Louis Kraft, 70, of Michigan, and Douglas Joseph Kraft, 68, of Ohio. The third, 68-year-old male friend from Ohio, had not been publicly identified. About an hour after the shooting, police found Bojay inside his nearby home and arrested him on 3 counts of first-degree murder.
I'll say this, we lost 3 people, which is sad because it's 3 tourists that come here to visit our area. It's cold-blooded, it was premeditated, there was absolutely no issues, there was no conflict between these people. This is just random, and this happened to be the person who lived next door. These guys are the victims, but because our deputies responded so quick, we actually flushed the guy back into his house and kept him out in public, because had we not been there were other people out and about that could have been victims as well. I'll say this, we lost 3 people, which is sad because it's...
Salute to those first responders.
He's been ready. What's he been ready? What's up? I've been ready. What's up? What you talking about? You know the real deal? You know the real deal? What's up? You know the real deal?
Smack the shit out of your dumb ass. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch.
Can we start a family? Can we start a family? Made it official, baby. Oh, let me close my eyes and close my eyes, bring the Lord to lay next to me.
Jesus Christ. That filter is mean too. That's a mean filter she got on.
Twenty 2026, we telling white Americans to go back to Europe. Cause I don't know why we don't never tell them to go back to Europe. You're not from here. 2026, we telling white Americans to go back to Europe. Cause I don't know why we don't never tell them to go back to Europe. You're not from here.
Black people have gone mad, man. Black people have gone absolutely mad. Black people have gone absolutely mad. Black people have gone absolutely, positively batshit crazy.
You know, I just see it happening. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, little white girls and little white boys are going to wish they could be African. They're going to wish they could be black. There's something in the air that's reminding Black people that you are the origin of humanity and that what you have, the black skin, the pigment, is that sign and symbol of originality. And it gives us the authenticity that we have, something that, and I may be looked at as a racist, but I'm not, but it is really a fact that we have a certain resilience. There's a certain indestructibleness about us that can only be found in the original thing. And us being the original people, all of it is exemplified in who we are as a people. Our people are beginning to appreciate that and are beginning to stand up tall and be proud of it. But when you see it happening in your children and your grandchildren, you can actually sit back and say, yes, I did it. Somehow they're finally hearing me. And when I tell them you are it, you are the McCoy, you are the original mothers and fathers of humanity, stand up on the tallest pedestal and tell the world who you are.
What's wrong with Black people, man? What is wrong with Black people? What is wrong with black people, man? What is wrong?
Why would you say you support ICE?
Yeah, because they would get rid of these rapists and murderers that killed American women.
So are all of the immigrants that come into America rapists and killers?
Nope.
Oh, okay, so
let's get rid of these ones? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you support ICE removing them?
No. I support the condemnation, as you said, of a rapist. But, you know, there are white rapists, there are black rapists,
there are white immigrant rapists as well.
Okay, but again, there are rapists of different colors.
Why does the color matter when it comes to rape?
You just made it about you just made it.
No, you did.
Color. No, you did. You said ICE.
You brought up white rapists.
Okay, because you said that immigrants rape. Right, so white.
I didn't say immigrants rape. I said these immigrants raped.
Those immigrants raped. What about white people that raped?
She talking too fast. She trying to she not listening. She's not listening. She's just running her mouth without listening.
What about them?
Are there no condemnations for them?
Absolutely. We're condemning rape as a whole, but if these people wouldn't have been able to enter under Biden's open border policies, these women would still be alive today.
Right. So what about the people who are coming to America for a better life because they were experienced similar situations where they came from?
Yeah, they can come here for a better life. I'm all for legal immigration.
Legal immigration. Okay.
Holy shit. Shut up, bitch. Yeah, man. She has the IQ of a black person. She's legally retarded. Give her a break. Yeah, man. Give her.
Where is the clip of him talking about looking at the young people who are exiting the sanctuary and saying how they're traumatized, they're disturbed, and that's what's necessary in a protest like this. And I think that's just disgusting. I think that we as Christians are never promised peace or comfortability in this life. We know that people will be against us, but that does not mean that we shouldn't call people out when they do something like that or when they say something like that against us. And I think that that is just a terrible thing to say about anyone, that they should be traumatized for the sake of a political agenda. So I am not on board with what he was doing there. I don't think he should have been there. I don't think he had the right to be there. He was part of the group that disrupted our worship service, even if he was just documenting it. Frankly, I don't really care if he was there to just document or if he was there to protest. He was there and he was part of what disrupted our worship service. And so I don't think he should have been there. I don't think he should have said the things that he said. I don't think that it was the right time to interview a pastor in the midst of a protest, in the midst of his flock being attacked by wolves. And I just think that he handled it very unprofessionally.
White people are so nice, man. That just wasted a whole bunch of time. I thought that was going to actually be something. That wasted a whole lot of time. Damn. 57 points. Shit. That just wasted a whole lot of time.
Lil AC, aka Small Paul.
West Side.
Tell me what this track is all about.
You know what? Although the cameras are on me, I want to give this to my son, Lil AC, and let him explain what this track is all about. How about that?
What it's about is a lot of cats haven't misconstrued it, what being a Paru is. And I just wanted to fix that. So in the song, in the 2 verses, I'm talking about myself and how I handle things and see things. And then he's talking about being powerful, indestructible, revengeful, united, which is what Paru, the acronym for the street name, is. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically teaching these cats what it's really about. It's not about, oh, I'm shooting at them because they're wearing blue. It's not about the drugs and all that other stuff. It's about who you are as a man, who you are as an individual. So that's what the whole song is about.
So he was a Pyru before. Now he's a Black Panther. Everybody got a pass though, so you know whatever. But the shit he on now is fucking ridiculous though. The shit he's on now is ridiculous.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here. There's no
let's not
punishment
get our
for this.
knickers in a twist over child rape. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. Like, it's insane. The Epstein Files
What's
is
insane?
a multinational, multi-generational child and woman sex trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil be gone, is just horrifying to me. Every woman in the world that is watching this, why are you acting like you have no idea what's happening here? Scott, this is...
He asked me a question about following the law.
Yes, and what
I
I'm
said they
saying
should
to you
follow
is
the
your
law.
attitude. Yes, and they're not following the law. They're 30 days late on following law, and they didn't explain why they redacted the first things in the first place, which they were also supposed to do.
I know.
Listen,
you
at
have a
this
strong
point, this is
opinion
not...
about it,
I have a strong opinion about it because it is a
But I think they should-
disgusting
I think they should do
policy
it as
that they are
fast as
doing
they
this.
can.
They are hiding it. It is not the behavior of innocent people, and everything that is in these files it could bring an entire house down. And if it has to, it has to. If it brings down Democrats, bring them down. If it brings down Republicans, bring them down. If it brings down princes, world leaders, Hollywood people, bring them down. But what it feels like right now is that there's a giant cabal of people that do not have to listen to the law, do not have to oppose the law, and they were supposed to do something, then they didn't do something, and now they're trying to have a new law that says we don't even have to do
And what's really
Oh, this guy.
He's just going to say you're not following the rules and invoke the Insurrection Act anyway. That's what's going to happen. So everybody needs to understand where we are. This guy's a menace. We absolutely need to fucking impeach him and get him out of there and then convict him, or somehow...
They're already talking about Trump is in power. He can't convict one Democrat. They're not in power, and they're talking about convicting them. Press one if you see that. He's in power. He hasn't touched a nary hair on a Democrat's head. Not one Democrat has had a hair plucked out of their head. They're not in power. No, not in Senate, Congress, nothing. and they're devising a way to fucking impeach him and throw him in prison.
He's just going to say you're not following the rules and invoke the Insurrection Act anyway. That's what's going to happen. So everybody needs to understand where we are. This guy's a menace. We absolutely need to fucking impeach him and get him out of there and then convict him. Or somehow you need the Republicans in the fucking cabinet to grow a goddamn conscience and to do the 25th Amendment. Because this motherfucker is completely and utterly unhinged. He's creating the Fourth Reich. He's as corrupt can be. He's immensely senile. He's a psychopathic, fascist, war criminal, rapist, pedophile. And everybody knows it. And everybody's pretending like it's not the case and everything is normal. No, nothing is normal. And this is his dark and evil plan. And it's unfolding exactly like we said it would. He's just going to say you're not following the...
I don't know that Trump is a pedophile. I don't think he's a pedophile. I don't think he's evil.
There's no hacks or no cheat codes. It's all him. And I'm beyond grateful. Everything that I have is because of God. Everything that I am is because of God. It isn't luck. There's no...
Okay, guys, we're gonna add some applesauce to it. Oh, this is so much good. You stink. You're not eating that, are you? I will.
Oh shit.
What does the law? And Stacey Schneider joins the table. And Stacey, let me start with you, counselor. What does the law say about protesting in a church like this?
Yeah, the law says that these protesters are in trouble. There's a federal statute called FACE, F-A-C-E, that says if you interfere or physically obstruct another person's First Amendment right to exercise their freedom of practicing their religion, it is a federal crime. Now, had these protesters stood outside the church, been on the sidewalk, been on the street, they likely would have been protected by their First Amendment right to protest. But you're allowed to protest in a public forum, but that right is not absolute. They crossed the line when they went inside a church. And I think of it almost like, a church is public property. Imagine if protesters went inside a hospital to protest Medicaid or health policy and interrupted treatment of patients. It's really not that different.
But ICE officers do that. ICE officers have been going into hospitals. They have been going into churches. Donald Trump said they were allowed to go into churches. They're going to schools. They're picking out parents from drive-by lines. And these people in the neighborhood just found out that their pastor of the church is a high-ranking ICE official. So I think if you're a church that has an ICE person as a pastor, it's already political. And he's running the church. Like at the end of the day, I don't think this has. I know, but I don't think this has anything to do with faith. And I think that the community is making it a faith issue. I think this is about politics and power.
Faith, and I'll tell you what, it was inside a church, and religious practice was going on inside the church. They basically allegedly stormed into the church, interrupted it, disrupted it, physically blockaded it. And not only is a federal law possibly involved, and I don't think the state is going to pursue this, but they could be found guilty of a trespass, allegedly, for entering that church with the intent to commit unlawful activity. I don't know that the state's going to pursue anything. The feds definitely have signaled they are. Yeah, and I think they need lawyers.
But I think the feds are signaling that they are in many ways. Like Todd Blanche is here saying the full weight of the law. We're sending the FBI, the DHS, all these people in. because these people stormed a church. This is the same Todd Blanche that's saying we are not investigating our officer shooting someone in the face. Like, if you are more upset about a group of people storming in and chanting in a church than you are about a civilian being shot in her own car in her own neighborhood, then I think we've lost the plot here.
I agree with you that the
Yeah, but bitch, that's such a linear, dumbass way of thinking about it. That has nothing to do. Yo, Renee Good got shot. The world goes on. They act like nothing else gets to happen in the world because Renee Good got shot. They act like we can't, nobody can pass any more laws. Nobody can go to dinner with their family. Nobody can go to church. Nobody can, like, because Renee, in the two, this guy gets two, the officer gets convicted. Like, none of that shit she talked about has anything to do with the other. Everything is independent. ICE gets to operate and do their jobs, and you don't get to go into church and harass people and stop people from participating in religious services because you mad about something. You don't get to do that. It ain't no whataboutism. This bitch is stupid. This bitch is dumb.
way the government has executed their entire business in Minneapolis has been disgraceful and frankly un-American, the way they're behaving. But ICE is law enforcement. They do have rights to be in certain places at certain times. You have the right to free speech, but the manner and place of your speech can be controlled and is controlled by First Amendment guidelines and case law. So I think they have a problem from what they, the way they did it. The way they did it.
These people are so stupid.
How you got here, and you won't admit that that is the reason why we're this isn't about immigration. It isn't about ICE. It isn't about Trump. It is about suicidal empathy that is driven by a rescue fantasy. You have all of these young middle-aged women going out there because they have some kind of emptiness in their lives that are going out there in this kind of rescue delusion, helping people they don't know, strangers who are guilty of crimes. How can you defend that? This is not protesters going to a church. That is a mob. The people that invented the phrase safe spaces are breaking it up, frightening kids, right? These are the people that call us fascists and they're hunting people. These are the people that claim to defend women and yet are defending men who abuse women. These are the people that call us homophobic, and yet they want to out ICE guys for using, I don't know, gay sex apps. Let's be honest here. Fry's a pussy. He's scared of these people, or else he would stand up for it. Calling it love? There's no such thing as a mob with love. And imagine showing this tape to Don Lemon 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and saying, is this where you saw yourself? Lemon, crashing a church service, scaring kids, attacking a pastor. Was this your hope and dream to do this? Radicalization is gradual. Black Lives Matter is now bad guys matter. And now you'll defend anything. You're defending rapists. These are the people you're defending.
On what
and I'm going to go back. No, you had your chance. You brought this up. Where are the police? You know, when you have Hamas supporters and Jewish students, police make the separation. Antifa, Proud Boys, police make the separation. Pro-life and feminists, police make the separation. Somehow, that separation is not even here, even when the leaders are framing this as protesters versus persecutors, because that's part of this fantasy world that you live in, and yet they decide that they don't need cops to separate it. The ICE agents aren't supposed to deal with that. That's what the police do. So you got to ask yourself, why aren't the police there? Because it's a deliberate thing to create this spectacle. And then I'll finish. This is not an isolated thing. These rescue fantasies exist because the real power of women, which is in the roles of community, whether it's wife, mother, work, teaching. That stuff has been marginalized by our modern leftist culture that has to be replaced by activism. Your life is meaningless unless you're out there screaming in a cop's face. You have all these sad people out there in this liberation role playing, and you're egging it on. You should not be egging this on, Jessica. You know, we had this. This is a time for brave women.
Yeah, some of what he said is true. Yeah, women, their roles, their gender roles are out of whack in the United States. And women are finding, instead of being mothers and they're not having as many kids, they're aborting a lot of the kids. So where all that energy would go into mothering and protecting your children and nurturing your children is going towards nurturing and mothering whatever cause comes up for the Democratic Party. So it was nurturing black thugs in 2020. Well, from 2012 to 2020, nurturing black thugs. Now it's nurturing illegal thugs. Salute to everybody out there, man. We got to get out of here, man. I'll come back tomorrow, man. Tomorrow, man. Salute to all you people out there, man, that sponsored the show. If you just joined us, go rewatch the beginning of the show. So it was an amazing show. Got a lot covered tonight. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Subscribe.